Greetings, everyone. I am Professor Kofi. Today, we delve into a fascinating case, Wilbert K. Rogers versus Tennessee, 2001, a case that challenges the balance between common law tradition and evolving judicial decisions. This story begins on May 6, 1994, with a tragic act of violence and ends in the halls of the highest courts. Wilbert K. Rogers stabbed James Bodery, inflicting a fatal wound to his heart. Though Bodery survived the initial surgery, the lack of oxygen to his brain left him in a coma. He died 15 months later to complications of his condition. Rogers was charged with second-degree murder under Tennessee's criminal homicide statute, which makes no mention of the year-and-a-day rule. The jury convicted him based on evidence that Bodery's death was directly caused by the stabbing. At the heart of this case lies an ancient principle of common law, the year-and-a-day rule. Traditionally, this rule stated that a defendant could not be convicted of murder unless the victim died within a year and a day of the act. But is this rule still valid in the modern era? Rogers appealed, arguing that Tennessee's statute did not abolish the year-and-a-day rule. His defense argued that the rule persisted in Tennessee's common law, while the prosecution contended that it was irrelevant in light of modern statutes and science. The Tennessee Court of Criminal Appeals rejected this claim, affirming his conviction. The court ultimately sided with progress over tradition. Fast forward to the 21st century, where advances in medicine and forensic science revolutionized our ability to trace causation. Techniques like DNA analysis, autopsy imaging, and toxicology tests allow us to connect an act to its effects, even years later. Recognizing these advances, many jurisdictions have abolished the year-and-a-day rule. Courts and lawmakers now trust medical and forensic experts to establish causation, regardless of the time elapsed. However, the rule's abolition has sparked debates. Critics argue it removes a clear safeguard against prosecutorial overreach, while proponents highlight its obsolescence in the face of modern capabilities. The law must balance fairness to defendants with the need for justice. What once served a purpose in a specific context is no longer practical today. The year-and-a-day rule originated centuries ago in medieval England. During this time, medical knowledge was primitive, and causation, the link between an act and a death, was challenging to prove over extended periods. Advances in forensic science and medicine have rendered this rule largely obsolete, leading many jurisdictions to abolish it. Under these circumstances, the year-and-a-day rule was practical. It created a definitive time limit for determining whether an act caused a death, avoiding endless uncertainty in cases where medical complications could arise long after the initial injury. Additionally, this case demonstrates how the law must continually adapt. It is a reminder that justice is not static, but a living system, evolving to meet the needs of an ever-changing society. This case also raises important constitutional questions. Can a court retroactively abolish a common law rule without violating due process? Does applying this decision to Rogers' case violate the prohibition on ex post facto laws? The story of Wilbert K. Rogers is more than a legal case. It's a reflection of how the law navigates the tension between tradition and progress. As a student or researcher, you might grapple with similar questions to ensure justice evolves with society. Thank you for joining me on this journey through justice, history, and the law.